Welcome to Flip It Furniture. My name is Amy, and today we're going to be giving this furniture a much needed makeover. As you can see, the top has a lot of wear and tear. So much so that I can actually rub off that finish with my hands. Since it's so cold where I live, I don't want to take this piece outside to sand it. So I'm going to use Citristrip to remove that old finish. I apply a generous amount and I apply one coat and then I cover it with some plastic wrap. I didn't have any, so I actually used some old grocery bags. And then I wait 45 minutes to about an hour. And then I start to remove all the excess. And you can use vinegar, you can use mineral spirits, you can use afterwash to clean up. There's a couple things that you can do to clean it up. I actually used vinegar for this. And I did that after I scraped. And as you can see, most of that finish was already off, so it came up so easily that I didn't even have to do like a scuff sanding afterwards or anything because it came up pretty clean. If I had a bunch of uneven spots and I don't want to go outside and take this outside to sand, then I would have just added another coat of the paint stripper. I also stripped this little section in the middle and then the drawer fronts. So now to clean the rest of the piece, I'm using Dixie Belle's White Lightning Cleaner, and I absolutely love this cleaner because it gets off. It has TSP in it, but it also has other cleaning properties, and it gets off all the grease and oil and the dirt that are like caught in all of those creases. So I really like this cleaner. I use it all the time. I just add a couple tablespoons into my water bottle and then I add some water. I shake it up. My water is usually warm so that it dissolves really easily. And then I have this bottle for probably 10 more projects. You know, it lasts a really long time. And now I'm going to use Dixie Belle's new gel stain. It's their Voodoo Gel Stain in Charred Hickory. I absolutely love this color. It is such a gorgeous, like milky, chocolatey. It reminds me of chocolate milk. It's going to cover any of the imperfections in the wood, but it's going to give it this rich brown color. I just think it's really perfect. It's kind of on the cooler side, but it also has warmth. It's kind of hard to explain. It's just very pretty. And I feel like it's a more of an updated stain color, you know, and I love that it's water-based, so I don't have to do this like outside or wear a mask. It's really indoor friendly, and I love that because during the winter I have to work indoors mostly. So there's a couple ways that you can apply the Voodoo Gel Stain. You can apply it just like I did, right to the piece of furniture, or you can do it like this and you can add a little bit of water and then apply it to the furniture. Or you can apply it right to your rag and then wipe it on. So it's just super forgiving. When you use the water, you get a little bit more time to kind of work it in. If you don't use the water, I would do little smaller sections at a time just so you're not like pulling. You know, you want to make sure everything goes on nice and even. And I feel like just a little spritz of water before you do that, before you go, it helps. And I also notice with the gel stain, with the Voodoo Gel Stain, that sometimes when you're applying it, it looks kind of funky. But you have to trust the process because once it dries, it's going to dry so beautifully. I have really great coverage after one coat, but I did decide I want to add one more coat just because I do want it to look a little bit more even. So this time I'm applying it, I put my gloves on and I put a sock over my hand and I'm just wiping it on. That's for the second coat with a little bit of water misted before I began wiping it. Okay, and my next step is to seal the Voodoo Gel Stain, and I'm sealing it with Dixie Belle's Gator hide because I know that whoever buys this from me is going to end up putting stuff on the top because it is like a tabletop. It's almost like a buffet. It has those the two side leaves that come up. So I'm assuming it's a high traffic area. That's why I'm using the Gator hide. It's water repellent and I'm using the sponge to apply it. So I apply it, I wait about 3 hours. I think you can wait 2 hours in between the coats. And then I apply the second coat. And that's all I'm gonna do, 2 coats with the Gator hide and the sponge. And I like to pour mine in a separate, like a little container top, because I don't want, if there's any fuzzies on my sponge, I don't want to put that back into the container, or if there's any dust or anything like that. So we're just keeping that from being contaminated. Now for the body of the piece, I'm using the all-in-one mineral paint silk in the color Anchor. This is like a really true gorgeous black. And the reason I decided to use this is because it has the primer built in and I don't have to add the top coat because it's already in there. So if I apply 2 coats of this and I wait 2 hours in between the coats, if I apply the 2 coats, I don't have to worry about pulling out my sprayer or, sealing the piece and having streaks. I can just apply the 2 coats of paint and leave it and it's done. And it's gonna come up with like almost like an eggshell finish. And I love that. It's a little bit on the more on the matte side than the satin side. I'd say it's somewhere in between there. But it's just for the style that I'm going for, it's gonna look really, really good. Usually I do satin when I'm doing more colorful pieces, but when I'm doing neutrals, I like to do it more on the matte side because it just looks so good and classic and rich. And I use my artist's brush for, like, as you can see, for all these little spots. If you use a big brush, you're gonna get it all over the place. But since we did seal the stain already, if I did get it on the other places, it's really easy to clean up. So that was why I sealed first and not after. I love the simplicity of this silk, the all-in-one. It is just, you paint it on, make sure everything looks good and even, and you're done. And here it is, all finished. I just polished the hardware, so it has the original hardware on there. And look at that top now. That charred hickory just makes it so beautiful, and the combination of the charred hickory with the black, I love it. And I hope you love it too. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you next time.